Sonic Beats.
I was actually going to bring this up on the podcast, but
No.
nope.
Nope.
I was going to bring up that haven't been watching wrestling really. So
We almost good?
we're
shit.
recording. That's what I'm talking about. It's Gator right there. Yeah.
Fucking classic Gator.
Classic Gator.
Oh,
hey,
man.
well, welcome everyone.
Welcome to Maryland.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Oh, shit.
Dude, this podcast's vibe has changed.
The game has changed, but the players are the same.
We are the same. Same
the
beast,
players are
different
the fucking
animal.
same. Oh, my Lord.
Same beast, different animal. Yeah, I ate that. No crumbs.
So I'm really upset.
Oh, okay. All right,
I'm
yeah,
really
let's start
upset because I tell you what. I watched and I said to myself, there is no way they do Notre Dame dirty. No way they do them dirty and put them any lower than a 6 seed in the playoffs, because Penn State's poopy and they lost, of course, to Oregon. And I was just like, okay, cool. So Notre Dame probably should be 5, but I understand giving it to Ohio State. Yeah. But
Wait, isn't it?
Ohio State's 5.
Yeah.
Penn State's 6, which is like Penn State being 6 is the most like, it's just,
I think Penn State should be the same as like IU. It's like similarly ranked. I mean, IU has and Penn State have a very similar
no. If you
strength of schedule. They beat.
If you were to tell me Penn State was seed 7, and then that they were playing IU
exactly.
Yeah, that's how it should have been.
Yeah.
And then the Irish should have got SMU.
Which is,
And then they should be playing Boise State. But no, we have to play IU, which I knew that they were going to do. I knew that they were going to put the two. Yes, I know. They knew they were going to put the Indiana teams together. And it's garbage. And so they're like, oh, hey, Indiana, Notre Dame, we're going to play each other. It's going to be awesome. We're the college football playoffs. And then we got to go play Georgia. And the thing is, for me, is, A, we should have that 6 seed. And B, it basically, Oregon, even though they're the 1 seed, have a poopy path too. Because essentially, don't they play the winner of...
They play the winner of Georgia. No, I'm sorry, Ohio State and Tennessee.
Yeah, Ohio State and Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, though, because I know, like, technically Ohio State's scheduled, like, 5th, and, Tennessee is, like, 6th. But, like, it makes sense in the structure. Like, technically, those are the 8th and 9th ranked teams in the bracket versus the top seed. Like, realistically, like, on paper, 1 versus 8 and 9 is more favorable than 1 versus, like, the winner of the 5 and the 12th seed, because arguably they could have a tougher path against the 5th seed.
Yeah, it just,
like the higher seed.
The,
it should favor them, but it feels like it doesn't.
See, but this is the thing: is all this does now. And again, I know, like, people's like, oh, we got 12 now. So and so wouldn't have made it if we didn't go to 12. But all this does is show is that automatic buys shouldn't go to conference champions. Now, you can factor in if a team wins a conference championship and if you want to weigh it a certain way. But the fact that you have the fact that even Clemson is in the playoffs is garbage. The fact that SMU, who lost to Clemson, is in there, even though they lost, and basically they're saying, well, since they made the championship, they're should be ranked ahead.
I do like that.
What you need to do, though, is after conference championships, you need to re-rank everybody. And if you're ranked 1 through 4, then you get the buys. Like, you should get the buys.
Okay.
And then, like, the same seeding, same everything else, just don't automatically give it to a conference championship. Because Clemson won, that means the poopy Big 12 got
See, I like that though. I love
it. Yeah. But who's the Big 12 championship over yet?
Arizona State.
Arizona State.
Yeah.
And while Arizona State has been tearing it up at this back half of the year, Arizona State does not deserve a bye. Arizona State.
I like
does
seeing
not
the fresh matchups. You know, I like incentivizing the conference championships.
But basically what you're saying is strength of schedule does not matter. Strength of schedule does not matter, and your traditional powers are worthless. Because what you're saying is with IU is, and I'm not saying IU doesn't deserve to be in the dance, but like this is the thing is they have a terrible strength of schedule.
Yes.
They have played basically nobody, and then the one ranked team that they really did run into, they got bulldozed by Ohio State. Now again, they could go into Notre Dame and they could handle them and they could win. I'm not saying IU can't win by any stretch. But what I am saying, though, is, like, shouldn't strength of schedule be, weighed a little bit heavier? Aren't we not weighing the fact that someone lost a conference championship? Basically, you're saying if you get into the conference championship and you got any sort of resume, you're making the playoffs.
Well, I like that they're sending that message because then teams would just opt out. The conference championship.
But that's the thing is now teams are going to opt out of quality games and out of conference schedules.
I do think, honestly, at this point, there needs to be a complete rework.
Basically, you're sacrificing the regular season on the altar for a conference championship, which I don't agree. Because just let's take Notre Dame's schedule next year. Their first game out of the hopper is against Miami. And then they got 2 weeks after that, they got Texas A&M. So, like, their schedule next year is stacked because strength of schedule is a huge determining factor on what your ranking is and how but basically the college football playoffs committee just said, heck with strength of schedule.
Well, so, I mean, I think that's what the bottom 8 seeds are for, you know? Like, it's like, hey, if you have a great strength of schedule and you don't win a conference chip, you better be in the top 8. And I think that's very forgiving. I mean, in the past, the college football playoffs have been 4 teams or a national championship game just consisting of the 2 top conference champions. Or just the 2 top 2 teams. It wasn't even the top 2 conference champions.
Yeah, but
and it's like, I think at this point, honestly, if they're going to do anything, they have to completely rework how and restructure the entire college football.
So all year, Miami was a top 10 team all year.
Right.
All year. So essentially they lose a game they shouldn't have lost, do admit. Clemson, a 3-loss team, and they have bad losses. Clemson barely squeaked into the championship. I don't even think Clemson has a claim to be in the playoffs even after winning the ACC. Because again, but the thing is they didn't play Miami in the ACC championship. They played SMU. And while I'm not saying SMU is like a B-tier team or anything like that, but the thing about it is that is not indicative of the entire schedule that all of these teams have played, and the fact that Miami, which is looked the best team in the ACC, didn't even get a shot, and you have to put in Clemson. So basically it wasn't like, okay, we can squeeze in Miami because we still think that they're the second best team in the SEC. They didn't even get a shot. And because Clemson beat an SMU team, they automatically get into the dance. And then because SMU didn't get their ass kicked, they're in the dance too.
Well, but Clemson, you have to consider their strength of schedule because
it's bad. It's a bad strength of schedule. Clemson has a bad strength of schedule.
I mean, they're technically the best 2-loss team in conference, right? They're only
but they're 3-loss.
Yeah,
they're
but
a 3-loss team.
Hold on, but their strength schedule, their only out of conference loss was to Georgia. So it's
but what were their conference losses?
Oh, I don't know, but it was only 2 losses. Like they made it into the ACC.
Yeah, but
that's
that's exactly my point. So essentially, if you're in a conference, you don't play the Georgias, so you play the San Fernando Valley State. You whomp on them, score 100 points, and you just run roughshod through all of your non-conference schedule. And then because your conference is big enough, you don't get the big dogs every year. You get freaking ACC. Well, Florida State was terrible this year. Usually they're a power.
Right.
But like you have, like Syracuse, you have Florida State, you have these ACC, Duke, some of these things, and maybe some of these teams are good this year, but like it's not like we're talking about perennial juggernauts here. Mm-hmm. So essentially you just pad it with an easy ACC schedule because ACC is not a top-tier conference. They're not a top-tier conference. I'm going to say it again. They are not a top-tier conference.
Hey, we'll see. That's what the playoffs
are
for.
You plow through. See. It's the same thing for the Big 12. You plow through this poopy schedule of your poopy Big 12 teams and your poopy ACC teams, and you got a few nuggets that actually, are halfway decent, and maybe one ACC team should make it.
Well,
maybe one should make it.
We'll see what the playoffs.
No. We'll see, but I don't think
playoffs decide.
No. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that mentality. Because even if like a SMU or a Clemson wins a game or something like that, I don't think that proves anything.
Well,
I don't think that proves
if a 3-loss
anything.
Clemson beats Texas at Texas, I think it does.
Okay, well let's put the shoe on the other foot. What if Clemson walks into Texas and absolutely gets Wally stomped?
I think it's a good thing.
I think
it's a good thing for college football.
What if they go up 66-0 and prove the point that the ACC shouldn't have anybody in the playoffs?
I mean,
so what does that? Does that prove my point because of one game?
I mean, arguably, you could make that point because you need to think about the structure of the playoff system, and if it's efficient.
No, it's a bad structure. It's a bad structure. So it shouldn't have been this way. It shouldn't have been the fact that you have these conference championships getting automatic buys. I think it's horse.
But do you know who to blame? Do you know who to blame for this? What team? I can tell you what team to blame.
What team should I blame?
2016 through 2018 UCF. You can blame that team, that squad, because that was the squad that went undefeated for 3 years, won the American Conference, I think it was, 3 years in a row, and each year they escalated in the rankings, and they go, we can beat Bama, put us in the 14 playoff, we can beat Bama, and people believed it. And then 1 year, they beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl. Yep. An Auburn team that beat Alabama, right? It was in the Georgia Stadium. They went 13-0. My God, they need to add to the playoff structure. They need to add to the playoff structure. Well, they did. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. I think that's the only reason. That team is the only reason this structure exists the way it does. And Florida. Do not forget Florida State.
I know. I think Boise State was a part of that too.
Boise State, but I think Florida State last year. Do you remember that outrage?
I think Boise State before UCF. I think Boise State was much more of a factor of, especially with that blue turf.
Which team? Which year are we talking?
Oh, I think we're talking about Boise State circa 2010s.
Like Fiesta Bowl, like the Fiesta Bowl, Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
When they were running roughshod between what was it, the Mountain West, or
you can definitely call it that. I think the big one was Florida State though last year. I forgot about that, but they were undefeated, won the ACC, and one loss Alabama. But this is
the thing is we shouldn't compound bad decisions with more bad decisions. And I think we need to get away from the fact that the sport has been nationalized to a point where it's almost NFL-like from a standpoint that everyone has, especially these blue bloods, have national brands. So if I get we have these conferences, but The Pac-12 is down to 2 teams.
Well,
Pac-12 is down to 2 teams.
I just think,
I think that we have 2 conferences that are, on the whole, perennial, like upper tier conferences. You have the SEC and you have the Big Ten. Now, whatever you want to argue about Big Ten versus SEC, I'm not going to get into that. But those 2 conferences are hands down better than the ACC. They're hands down better than the Big 12. They're hands down better than the Pac-12. All 2 of those teams.
Well, I mean, yeah,
they have siphoned all of the blue bloods away from these other conferences. So basically, you know what? Just finish the job. No,
but I want more teams.
But that's the thing is,
big teams.
Big Ten needs to absorb whoever they need to absorb. SEC needs to absorb whoever they need to absorb.
And then
we
NFL.
Just have 2 conferences in college.
See, that's what I don't want. I don't want the NFL but college version. I want chaos. I want to see the underdog stories. I want to see the multiple conferences. That's what I want.
What I want you to do is I want you to go in and I want you to create 2 tiers. All right? Because right now, college has divisions. They have Division 1, they have Division 2, they have Division 3.
Right.
So, but this is the thing is you get the, let's say we take the, hypothetically, we take the best 24 teams, each conferences, you get rid of some of the low tiers. All right,
See, I don't want that. I mean,
you get rid of the Rutgers. You get rid of the Idaho.
Beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame this year.
Yeah,
and they are going to the playoff. I want to keep the magic of that alive. I want all of that.
You mean Notre Dame's going to the playoff?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
And they lost to There is a team that can win the national championship
but that's
lost to Northern Illinois.
But that's the thing is we're talking about outliers. Do you know Appalachian State beat a top 5 Michigan team 1 year too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where's Appalachian State at?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, they're not even a Division 1 team.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Right now? Aren't they in the same conference as like Northern Carolina?
No, Appalachian State is still a Division 2 team. They're not even a Division 1 team.
I remember watching them last year.
And by the way, if you're not in a Power 5 conference, you're not Division 1. I'm sorry. You could call yourself Division 1, you're not Division 1. Even if Appalachian State moved up to Division 1, Appalachian State at the time was not a Division 1 school. And you know what? They never rose to national promise after that W. What are you looking up?
They are D1.
Which is the conference?
They are 1A. Oh, then the Sun Belt.
Okay, that's not a real conference.
No, but that's the thing is they are though. Is like you can say that. No, but that's all opinion. Like
no,
they
not.
are a conference. Like they
but
are.
Okay, but like what was their FBS ranking this year? Where did they end?
This is fun. Let's wait. Hold on.
Yeah, what was Appalachian State's FBS ranking this year?
Yes.
And of the Sun Belt, how many of them were in the top 30?
Okay, so Marshall is number 1 in the conference.
Oh yeah, Marshall.
App State, they are only 11 games. Oh, yeah, that's right. They finished 5-6 this year. 3-5 in conference.
Perennial power, obviously.
James Madison, James
Madison,
the prominent James Madison. Yeah. Hey, Coastal Carolina was ranked for quite a while. They were. The Ragin' Cajuns are part of the Sun Belt. That's very nice. That's good. South Alabama. See, these are all D1 teams. Now, hold on. Listen, there is one conference.
You have just raised the Sun Belt standards.
There is one conference where I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And it is MAC. Like, MAC is, like, and that's Northern Illinois. Like, I understand that. But, like, that is not a D1 conference. That like, I don't even know how to describe what the MAC
probably
conference
whooped the Sun Belt from the sounds of it.
I don't think they could.
I'll take NIU and Ball State.
I would not. Oh, not day. Coastal Carolina was ranked in the top 25 like 2 years ago. Like I'll take. All day.
They were in the top 25 2 years ago. Oh, Nikes.
Over any of these other teams.
You're right. I take it all back. You're right, 100%. Oh, gosh. You nailed me to the wall.
The conversation of college football, it's interesting because it doesn't.
See, but this is the thing about it, is you want to keep some semblance of what college football is. But what college football is now is not what college football was. College football now is we keep some of the tradition, the pageantry, and there's some rivalries that are still relevant. Mm-hmm. But college football, ever since the NIL got instituted, will never be the same and is not currently the same.
Right. I understand. So,
but that's the thing is there's always.
But I think that's the upside.
But that's the thing is there's always going to be winners and losers, and just because some of the teams have equaled out, like from the SEC, they're not as strong because some of the other teams can pay their players a little bit better, and there's a little bit more money to go around. All you're doing is allocating resources. Distributing them through the teams, but you're still talking about money that was always there, and you're talking also about money that is still going to condense to a certain amount of teams.
But don't you think that opens up opportunity for smaller schools to
No, I don't think it does.
Grow some
Not
wealth,
really.
Grow some wealth. Like imagine one rich donor could change college football next year.
Maybe a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
I think you need a lot more than that, maybe for 1 year. But I also think that it's going to get condensed. It's going to get condensed to, I think it's going to go more and more to the fact that there is going to be 2 mega conferences.
See, I would hate that. I don't want the NFL. I don't want the NFL in my college football.
So what's the difference?
I love
because what team is in there right now that wasn't in there 10 years ago?
Arizona State.
Arizona State. What are you talking about? They had Herm Edwards, and they were doing some things.
Not that I recall.
Okay, well, just because you don't recall it doesn't make them
SMU
Mustangs. Hell, they've been around for a minute.
Penn State hasn't done anything in the top 5 in the last 20 years.
Yeah, but that's the thing is before Nick Saban got there, Alabama had done
I know the history of Penn State.
I was about to say.
I know the history of Penn State.
I know you know the history, but that's the thing is they are a blue blood perennial all-time program, and you are acting like all of a sudden NIL changed things that, oh, wait, we still have Georgia. We still have Notre Dame. We still have Penn State, Ohio State. Like, we have all the teams that were in there 5 years ago. Like, just because maybe a team slides off for a few years doesn't take away blue blood status. I mean, Miami in the 80s was different than Miami in the 90s, but was different than Miami in the 2000s. But they're still, like, a power. And
see, I also think you overrate Miami. I thought Miami was one of the worst top 25 teams this year.
Yeah, because the ACC is terrible.
Yeah, no, it was like
but that's the thing. Miami Clemson's you're making my point. Clemson's bad. Miami wasn't any good. SMU is only fighting. I mean, it's basically a sweaty pillow fight happening over there.
Hey, we'll see, man.
I was about to say.
That's what I like about the playoffs too.
A pillow fight's entertaining, but it doesn't make it like them elite warriors or anything like that. They're just in a hot, sweaty pillow fight with each other.
I think it's good.
I think they're going to absolutely get destroyed by Texas, and even if they make it a game, I don't think it proves anything.
No, but I think
the ACC is a B tier conference.
I think it's a good thing that there's no argument about anyone outside the top 12. I think that's the best part about this whole thing is that no one's like, oh, man, Alabama should have gotten in or South Carolina should have gotten in.
What are you talking about?
They're 3-loss. Like,
yeah, I understand that, but Clemson's 3-loss. Clemson's 3-loss.
But they didn't win a conference championship.
Yeah, they won the poopy ACC.
No, see, I just think it's all subjective. Like, I thought about this.
I don't think that changed my mind. I think there's a lot that you can prove.
The thing that changed my mind on this is I thought about if you just took rankings out of it for the first 6 weeks of college football. What would that look like? How would college football look?
It would look like the college football playoffs.
6 weeks. No, I disagree. I think at that point, when you get rid of that, you really, I would say it's harder to, how do you dictate strength of schedule if there's no rankings? Like, how do you dictate, oh, well, this person had this? Because you can't tell until the records.
But that's the thing is you have plenty of information. It's not like...
No, you do not.
No. It's not like stop. It's not like fantasy football where you end the season and then you don't know who you're going to draft until next fantasy football season. You have players that have played for you before. You have a general construction of a team. You have coach, and college football is about coaching, and so you know who's coming in, who's like, you have a plethora of information to help gauge how these teams are going to orchestrate. Now, do some of the teams fall off? Yes. Florida State was a perfect example of a team that completely went off the rails, and that can happen. But the thing about it is it's not astronomical. Like, most of these teams stick in there because they're that good.
Yeah, but like, again, so what decides if they're good or not?
Yeah, but show me the week 1 college football. Show me the week 1 AP rankings.
I know Georgia was number 1.
I'm just saying, show me the week 1 AP rankings.
Florida State was 10.
So you're not going to, obviously you're going to transplant Florida State with an IU. And then you're probably, SMU's probably not there.
No. Oh, here we go. Yeah. I think Ohio State was number 2.
Okay, so Florida or Georgia was number 1.
Okay, Florida State number 10.
Hold on, no, go 1 through 10 for me, please.
They don't have them numbered up. It's just by score count.
No, that's not true. You should be able to look up the AP poll week 1. Or preseason AP poll. I wish you knew how to use that thing.
AP poll.
Preseason ranking.
Preseason ranking.
Yep, here we go.
Okay,
Let's see if the magic Google can help us out with this.
Okay. Georgia number 1.
Georgia number 1.
Ohio State number 2.
Yep, those are both in the playoffs.
Oregon number 3.
Yep.
Texas number 4.
Yep.
Alabama number 5.
They're number 12, but okay.
Ole Miss number 6.
They're number 13.
Notre Dame number 7.
Yep.
Penn State number 8.
Yep.
Number 9 Michigan. Number 10 number 10 Florida State.
Okay, those two are trash.
Number 11 Missouri. Number 12 Utah.
Okay.
So
but the top 8 were pretty on point, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. But here's the thing.
But this is a whole season later.
But that's what I'm saying is so subjective about it. It's like the SEC.
Yeah, but stop. No.
Everyone says the SEC is good.
Hold on, stop. I'm going to stop you.
I'm
going to stop you. You can't say it's subjective when the AP preseason poll literally looks exactly identical to the college football playoff at the end of the year. A whole season has happened.
But that's what I'm saying, is that they all hype each other up the whole year.
But that's not true. That's not 100% true.
So the SEC, right?
Does it factor in a little bit? Yes, but the thing is we have enough information on these teams.
Then why doesn't the NFL rank? We know the coaches. We know who they drafted. We know their starters. Like, But people
do.
It decide.
But people do.
They decide.
Do we not get week 1 power rankings? Do we not get projections on their win-loss ratios?
But we don't
or
rank
anything?
them. We don't rank them until 2 weeks before the actual playoffs, or even we don't even finalize the rankings in the NFL until the whole regular season is over. Why don't we do that with college football? I think that's what we should do, is we just let it be decided on the field purely. But that would require a total leveling
that's the thing
of college football.
Let's say you take away the poll.
Right.
How do you know how good any team is?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm questioning everything.
I'm saying, but what says a Purdue beats on a Illinois?
Yes.
How should we rank that?
Whoever wins and loses. So, but here's the thing. Here's the problem with that metric. we could only go by ranking, right? We wouldn't go by strength of schedule. But here's the problem: is that you're right in that college football is not.
You have
level.
to have a baseline. You have to have a baseline.
So what is the baseline? It's too big.
It's the ranking.
But the ranking is inherently subjective. That's what I'm saying. Is that it is. People they're watching, they go, "Oh, well, they look better than this one win team looks better."
You're acting like it's 100% subjective. I don't agree with that. I think just like any good math problem, I think you have a plethora of data and you can make an educated guess.
See,
now
but
is that now?
that.
But that's the thing about it is like it's just like kind of like politics. You could go out there, you can collect the information, you can do focus groups, but really until you go out there and actually have a vote or play a game, you're not entirely sure, but you have to have some sort of baseline metric for it.
But that's what I just don't understand. It's just like in football you don't have you can't rank them but in Rocket League. You can't rank them.
But that's not true because it's different than the NFL. Because with the NFL, what you have is you could have a veteran on your team. Patrick Mahomes is probably going to retire a Chief. He's probably going to play for the Chiefs for
bold prediction.
Yeah, he's probably going to play for the Chiefs for a total of 15 to 20 years, and he will be a Chief for probably to perpetuity. There is no college football player in the world that same thing can happen to.
Right.
So you always have a class of people coming in and out, and especially with NIL and the transfers, you have influx of information and players and things like that can change season around. Look at IU. But in the NFL, you don't really have that. I mean, yes, you have free agency, but with coach, quarterback, and a general understanding of the team, you could say with coach and quarterback, without looking at any other position, they're probably going to do pretty good. If you got Josh Allen, if you got Patrick Mahomes, if you have Lamar Jackson, they're going to constitute at least a winning record for you. Now,
I don't know that.
Yeah, but I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I don't.
Tell me what NFL team
proof.
What NFL team prospers without an elite quarterback? Give me one.
They don't normally.
Well, okay, so an elite quarterback that stays healthy, I can tell you, is going to have a winning record, period. And it's statistically proven. You may have a few outliers.
And I agree with you.
You may have a few outliers, but you can't say that about it.
I agree with you. But what I'm saying is that you don't know until they play. I agree with you. It's statistically speaking, absolutely. But statistics
but you can have a
only
baseline.
matter until
you can have a baseline.
Justin Tucker, you predict that the Ravens aren't going to make a field goal this year. That would have been a solid bet. If you would have said the Baltimore Ravens will make 90% of their field goals this year. That's an easy bet. Easiest money you've ever made. Not
this
true.
Year.
Not true. That's what I'm saying. That's literally all I'm saying is that the rankings.
Yeah, but you're
but
you're saying you're screaming at the sky and being baselines, but you have to have them. How are we able to judge anything without at least a thorough baseline?
That's what I'm saying. It's driving me crazy.
But that's not what you're saying. But we should get rid of the rankings.
No, I'm not. It just makes me question the rankings. I don't actually have an alternate solution.
Okay.
I don't have a better solution.
It's okay to have a mild skepticism.
It is, but that's what I'm saying. It's driving me up a wall, man. It's literally driving me crazy because
you're driving me crazy.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing right now. That's what you're doing.
I feel like
I didn't want to talk about this much.
The obvious answer here is that you look at the talent, and that sort of dictates the rankings, right? Honestly, that's the only thing I can see there is they look at the D1 talent, the 5-star talent. Does rankings start with just recruiting 5-star talent? Is that all the rankings come from? Or your development of them? Because that's what I'm starting to think is that it just, if you have a deep bench in college football, and your bench and it's all 5-stars athletes.
Well, I think it's a factor.
I almost think it's the factor before week 1. I think preseason.
I don't agree with that. I think what it has to do,
or something like that.
I think coach has a place. So I think if let's say Alabama for the last
Oh my
15
God! I
years.
think I might have just solved the problem in my head. I think I might not be drafted.
But let's talk Alabama for the last 15 years. So yes, they've had elite recruiting classes every year. They have Nick Saban, and between those two things, like you just know they're going to be perennially good.
Yeah.
But like that's, but like,
I think we solved it.
but that's the thing is what dictates that though is past record, past accomplishments, and future.
I don't
future.
Want past record.
But that's the thing is future. But it plays a huge factor because it plays a huge factor for recruiting. It plays a huge factor for It plays a huge factor from a standpoint of if you have a national championship winning coach. You know that they're well coached. So you already know that, okay, this elite coach is going up against somebody that is untested and unproven. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because basically you're talking about benefit of the doubt.
I guess that makes sense. It's just, I guess I want to maintain a purist at heart, the game of football. To where we don't assign value to things like that. We just keep it purely on the field, and that's it. That's the only metric. But I think college football is too big for that, realistically.
Well, and not to mention there's too much turnover in college.
And honestly, I've kind of made a huge flip in like the last week. I've sort of been gravitating back towards NFL because of the structure of it. Because it's like very solid, like 7 teams over here, 7 teams over here. You play half the league in a given season. It's like, I forgot. I'm sorry. 6 conference games, and then, but you're still playing 10 out of the rest of the, like 25 teams or something like that.
Third.
Like, yeah, I mean that's like a solid. You're getting a good round, but like it's all based on record anyway. So you're keeping it level, and it's been like just that purist perspective has been sort of gravitating.
Yeah, but the NFL structure isn't perfect either.
No, I mean, it's
I
nice.
know. No, it works better. But that's the thing is again, there's 2 conferences. There's a set number of teams.
Yes,
and then there's within those conferences, those are divisions that always end up equaling themselves out. Which again is something else to be said because of the division structure. There's been some bad teams get in the playoffs just because they won a poopy division.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it got a little bit better.
But the thing is also the NFL has equalizers. What they do with the draft, what they do with the salary cap. Oh, yeah. These things help equalize the good organizations and the bad organizations to help even out the talent metric, but you don't have that in college.
No, yeah, it sort of helped me respect, like appreciate the NFL a little bit more, sort of looking at it that way. Because it's, I mean, say what you want, they got that down almost to a science at that point. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it's, I don't know, I appreciate it. I respect it. But college football, I do like the chaos of it. I like that. Low teams that normally wouldn't get in. Hell, there's 12 teams. Like, that's awesome. Like, and honestly, like, if I ever get pissed about the structure, it's like, well, if you wanted it better, you should have won all your games.
Well, but that's the thing is like it's better than the alternative.
Which is 4.
It's like, better than 4. It's better than 2. It's better than the original BCS system.
Dude, I was about to say college football was massive when they just were like, yeah, these are the top 2 teams, and then put them in the national title game. I think Alabama Notre Dame game broke it. I'm pretty sure. If I had to decide a game, I think that's the one that broke it. I'm not gonna lie to you. That I remember that game and it was painful.
All right, we don't need to go on anymore.
No, we don't. It's okay. But
we do not.
What was the other thing we wanted to argue about?
I don't even remember.
I remember it.
What was it?
Superman.
Oh my god. Go make your case.
I don't really have. Listen. Okay. Here's my case. If anything, I understand. We're going to talk about the new Superman movie, okay?
So, okay, hold on. I want to premise this. I want everyone to understand this.
Okay.
So, Peyton and I are on a text thread together. And basically, he sends me the new Superman. So, again,
it's a poster.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to get there, but okay. Thanks for jumping on that. Oh,
it's a poster.
The anticipation. It's a poster. So the new Superman poster drop.
Yes.
And you're very excited. You're very excited.
Yes.
And he texts me, and I go, it's kind of mid. And you disagreed with that sentiment.
I did. I said you're out of your mind. You're out of your freaking mind.
I'm going to tell you. Superman flying straight up in the air with J.J. Abrams.
Didn't he just get you going?
Some color flares. Yeah, okay. I'm going to let you know this. James Gunn and his DC universe are going to have to earn my excitement.
That's fair.
They are going to need to come out and give one banger of a trailer.
True. I agree. I agree.
They're going to have to give me a banger of a trailer, and then they're going to need to give me another banger of a trailer.
They're going to need to give a good movie.
About yeah. Well, but that's the thing is, so give me some banger trailers. So the first one drops is like, okay, I got it. Okay. And then there's going to be a second one that drops. And
are you going to watch? I don't watch past the first. Or, I mean, okay, I watched the teaser and the official trailer. I never watched the second.
I only watch official trailers. I don't watch any of the smaller ones. So what they do is they release the initial teaser, trailer. Yeah. They release the initial trailer, and then there's like the second trailer, which is usually the banger. Like
yes,
the super
banger. That's the best trailer. Yeah. That's the best trailer. Yeah. Official trailer.
So when they release that, this thing needs to just light me up. I need to be like, I need to get in that now. I need to get in that. I need to get in there. Like it's you know, I need to get in them walls. And then the movie needs to be super legit.
I agree.
Because I will tell you this. This movie has a lot going against it.
I agree.
And I haven't been blown away with anything Marvel or DC has released in a long time, except I will caveat Wolverine and Deadpool was fantastic.
That was so good.
I will caveat that. But basically they've all been pretty mid or low tier. All right? So this movie not only needs to have a banging marketing, but it needs to actually perform and be awesome. And this is the thing, though. This is the thing. I need Superman to be better than Henry Cavill's Superman.
Okay. Well,
but that's the thing is. That's the thing is. See, this is my premise. If you're going to dump Henry Cavill, who was fantastic in the role of Superman. Now, the movies he was in, gauging levels of good, but he was an awesome Superman, period.
I mean, Man of Steel
underrated,
fantastic. Classic.
No,
okay?
that movie
that is one thing we will never disagree on.
So
ever.
Good.
It is.
That is so
good. Do you remember
good.
seeing that in IMAX for the first time?
I remember. I watched it. I watched it in IMAX on Father's Day. My kids took me to that, and that is one of my favorite Father's Day presents of all time.
So good. Gator, I showed Gator Man of Steel for the first time. I'd never be prouder of showing a man.
Gator never saw Man of Steel?
Never. I showed him in the basement with the surround sound. With
I got so much crap. Like when Superman kills Zod at the end of that movie.
Oh, so good.
Like, it's so good. And, like, I was like, man, that's so good. And everyone's like, that's not Superman. That's not Superman. And that's my point right there. It's that argument right there that worries me from a standpoint of this movie because this is the thing about DC fans. I'm going to tell you this right now. Most DC fans will never agree on anything. They are terrible, they are fractured, and they will never be pleased by anything. Now, you have a lot of normies out there, normal people out there who love Batman, who love Superman, who love Spider-Man and Wolverine, and you'll get them usually if you can come out with a banger. But DC fans are terrible. So essentially, it's going to be fractured, and you're going to have the people that want a darker version, people that's going to want a lighter version. I just need this movie to kick ass. All right, I want this movie to kick ass, and I don't want them to make him necessarily a boring goody two shoes, but keep in spirit of, justice, Superman doing the right thing. Like, he's supposed to be the antithesis of Batman, type of stuff like that. So like hope and all this stuff and the American way and all that good stuff. Like, if we can keep that, if we can do that, I'm on board.
Okay.
But I need him to be better than Henry because there better be a good reason.
See,
unless you can give me a legitimate time frame in which, like, they needed a younger guy. But if they just give me a normal Superman movie and he's not exponentially younger, then why didn't you just use Henry Cavill?
Okay. So let me cook for a second. All right. Let me cook.
I understand they're trying to move past, but James Gunn has made it apparent that he's keeping some characters from the old universe and he's bringing them over.
Let me cook for a second. All right. I am excited for this movie. Okay.
It hasn't even done anything yet.
I am excited for it, and I think, in my opinion, James Gunn has earned my excitement. And here's why. I thought about this, and realistically, James Gunn is responsible, in my opinion, for the best in the last 10 years, approximately 10 years, the best movie trilogy in the last 10 years. Unquestionably, in the superhero genre, which is one of our favorite genres.
No, I disagree with that.
What's a better trilogy?
Captain America.
Nope, that was 2012. I'm talking the last 10 years, 2014, 2024.
Oh, that's very fucking specific.
Nope, 10 years, last decade.
No, that's that's bullshit.
Last decade, 2024. In 10 years, the best trilogy.
Yeah, but Captain America was a better trilogy.
No, I get that, but like 2011.
Okay, so it's a better... Okay,
no, but it was 2011.
Two of those movies, though. Two of those movies were in...
No, I agree with you, but in the last 10 years...
So the trilogy didn't end, though. Theoretically, it would be in the last 10 years. So the trilogy would have been in the last 10 years.
Okay. I would still argue that Guardians of the Galaxy is better due to the weakness of the first Captain America movie and the strength of all three Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
I disagree with that. I think you should rewatch that first Captain America movie.
Here's the thing.
Maybe your simple mind didn't understand the complexities of that movie.
Hold on.
But I'm just letting you know.
Captain America is not a shared vision either. That was made by the second and third movies were completely different vibes from the first one, and they were not the same directors. Guardians of the Galaxy, I would say, is much more of a shared vision, single story that is of very inherent of James Gunn's mind.
See, all you're doing is moving the goalpost farther to make your first point more correct.
Yes, no,
because basically now you're adding parameters. No. First it was this. Oh, but maybe Bo has an argument, so now I'm moving it over here.
Okay, so let's
now I'm moving it over there.
Let's rephrase it then. James Gunn is responsible for one of the top 3 trilogies in the last 10 years. Like it's like you can't even give me that he's made 3 consecutive great superhero movies.
I wouldn't say they're all
Guardians
great.
of the Galaxy.
I wouldn't say they're all great.
With the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I wouldn't say all the Guardians of the
most beloved movies in the Marvel universe.
Stop. I am telling you, I don't think all 3 movies are great.
Okay. They all 3 got critical reception. They're beloved by many fans, by many families. I know that it has the family appeal. It has the appeal of being
I'm not
most
saying
heartfelt.
that they're not good movies. I'm just saying that they're not great.
Oh, I think they're all 3.
The third one is not as good, and I think that they have deteriorating value. I think the first one stands at the peak, and then as the goes on, while I'm not saying they deteriorate a great quantity, but I'm saying like as they go, the less good they become. See, and by the way, you also forget, Mr. Oh, it's all the shared vision. It's actually not a shared vision because James Gunn got fired by Disney and had to come back and rewrite the Guardians of the Galaxy movie because the things that were supposed to transpire in the third film, they had already gotten past that timeline, so he had to create place it into a timeline it was never supposed to be in. So Mr. Shared Vision.
He did have to. He did plan on doing Rocket Rocket's backstory though in the third movie.
Oh,
so,
okay,
like,
but that doesn't mean that wasn't the original.
What I'm saying is that I think that he has earned the respect and earned my excitement for a Superman movie. I cannot honestly say that
how much did you love the Suicide Squad?
The new one? Oh, see, I thought that was a really good movie.
I thought it was a really good movie?
I wouldn't put it in the great category. I'd put it in really good. Like
you put it in really good?
Yeah.
So you'd say I thought
it was a really good movie.
So you would say it was 8 out of 10?
Easily 8 out of 10 movie.
You thought that movie was 8 out of 10?
Easily an 8 out of 10 movie, and it wasn't even a question. I really liked Peacemaker.
It wasn't even a question.
I really
8 out of 10?
Oh yeah, I really liked Peacemaker. And then also technically the first product that drops in the official DC Universe just dropped, Creature Commandos on HBO Max. Highly recommend. It's only 8 episodes long and it's animated.
How was that critical reception?
I don't know. I watched the first 2 episodes and really liked it.
It's
I don't
poor.
know.
It's going very poorly for it.
I'm enjoying it. That's all I can speak on. I haven't looked at any reviews.
Okay,
I'm just saying 2 episodes.
For all the acclaim that you're saying is heaped upon these things, the Creature Commandos show is not going well.
I am enjoying it.
Especially as a launching point for the new DCU. By the way, it's only a soft launch because
Superman is like the first official movie. That's like the big one. Superman's the big one. But I think that with James Gunn at the helm, I'm confident that it's going to be a good movie. Now, I think it's a bit unfair to expect better than Henry Cavill because I think if you're James Gunn,
no. I take that back. I need a very good reason it's not him.
Okay, I think the easy reason is that Henry Cavill's 40 and they're looking to do a Superman.
Have you seen that man?
No, I get it.
Have you seen that man?
In 15 years, when you need a seasoned Superman to lead against the ultimate threat when they plan on doing... If you're James Gunn, you're planning on doing Superman leading the charge in the ultimate finale in 15 years. You have to go the 20-year-old.
Do you think Henry Cavill in 15 years isn't going to be a chiseled Greek god still?
Listen, I'm just... it makes sense.
Have you seen that man? I'm not saying stop. I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you right there. If there are many men, I would agree with you, but I'm just telling you. While I'm not into dudes, he is the perfect dude.
Listen, I love Henry Cavill.
That guy between him and Chris Hemsworth, those are the peak of male.
No, I agree with you. Henry Cavill's peak manhood, man.
I'm just saying.
I'm saddened. I want him.
And at 55.
As someone who is I think he'll be Man of Steel is one of his favorite movies.
Guy can probably be Superman for the next 40 years and be fine. Be 80 years old, freaking putting the cape on and still looking stalked.
The new Justice League, the Snyder Cut, is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. All right, Henry Cavill, I'm on the Cavill train. I can't wait for Warhammer. He's going to be a producer and a primary character. Okay,
you need the Calverine to come back.
The Calverine, dude. I love the Calverine. I love everything about Henry Cavill. Okay, but it's
like God chiseled him himself.
I understand
what the perfect man should be.
If you're building a cinematic universe and you're going for an early 20s Superman, that you might have to cast someone else. That doesn't make me mad.
Are they going for an early 20s? I didn't think they were going for an early 20s.
I think they're going for sort of experienced Superman. You're jumping into the action.
I don't think he's early 20s though.
I
think he's going to be. I think he's going to be mid to late 20s. Yeah, I don't think that guy is 22. I think he's almost 30.
You know what's funny? I type in Superman actor into Google and it just says Henry Cavill.
See, because he is, man. He's this, and they're not even talking about his character. They're just talking about who they get.
David Cornsweet.
Yeah, it's Cornsweet.
He is David Cornsweet.
Age. Just put in age, man. I wish.
He's 31. Okay,
see, there you go. I told you.
But I get it though. I understand the sentiment. I get it. It just makes sense. If you're going for a younger guy and you're planning for 15 years down the road,
mildly younger, mildly, not even
9 years.
Yeah, but against Henry Cavill, they're basically the same age.
I don't hold any ill will. It's useless being mad at him about it.
No. I'm not mad at Mr. Cornsweet.
No, James Gunn. Because also, I don't think it's James Gunn's fault. I think it's Warner Brothers.
No. It's 100% James Gunn's fault. Him and Peter Safran
hired James Gunn. James Gunn had a vision, and Warner Brothers decided to go with him.
Yeah, and his vision was not Henry Cavill. James Gunn
but that's not his fault. Like,
yeah, that is his fault.
If Warner Brothers wanted, they're the ultimate decision makers. If
that's what you just said. It was James Gunn's vision. James Gunn's vision was no Henry Cavill.
Yes, and Warner Brothers hired him. And
James
Warner Brothers
Gunn,
hired him.
No, but that's still James Gunn's fault. What kind of weird thing are you trying to do right now?
No.
I know it's his vision. I know he's the head of the studio, but it's actually Warner Brothers. They're the...
Yes,
what are you trying to say?
They're the one that chose
That's
James
the
Gunn.
most asinine thing I have ever heard.
No, if
you're gaslighting me right now. I feel like you
sound like a Gen Zer.
I'm just saying.
You're so cringe. Okay,
I'm just saying, bro.
Listen to me.
You are coming at me right now.
If I interview for a job and you interview for a job and I say,
and my vision is to fire him.
If I say I don't want Henry Cavill as Superman and you say I want Henry Cavill as Superman and they hire me and you don't like that, that's their fault, not mine. We both applied for the same job. That's what I'm saying. Warner Brothers made the decision. They heard James Gunn's pitch and they decided not to go with it.
Stop. Before they hired James Gunn, his pitch was a Henry Cavill-less DCU.
Yes.
And they decided to hire him.
Yes.
But, like, it wasn't their idea. It was his idea. Because actually Warner Brothers signed him for more movies.
One movie.
But they signed
No, they had one movie left in his contract. They didn't, like, sign him to a new contract.
No. Did they not put him in that poopy Black Adam movie because they didn't want to go forward with him? No.
No, The Rock signed an additional contract.
All early sentiments were saying that he was getting another movie. And then James Gunn came along and decided to revamp the universe and decided not to have Henry Cavill. That is not Warner Brothers. That is James Gunn deciding he wanted to take it into another direction. I don't know what weird kind of psychological mind games you are doing that is exonerating James Gunn from the fact that he clearly did not want Henry Cavill.
Well, no, but I just don't think the fact that he doesn't want Henry Cavill is bad. Like, I mean, I like Henry Cavill, but it's like if you're doing a brand new Superman, like if they decide to do Iron Man again, I don't want Robert Downey. I don't want Chris Evans as Captain America again. I do not want it. I don't want it. I don't want Ben Affleck's Batman. I don't want like if they're doing something new. But
that's the thing is that's you though. Hey, what was
exactly?
I was about to say so that the last Superman or not Superman, the last Spider-Man movie that came out. Who was in that movie? I'm pretty sure old-ass Spider-Mans that people enjoyed came on that movie and helped make it what it was. And, you know, nostalgia plays. And the fact that is, again, James Gunn, if he would have said...
But you're not launching a new franchise. Also, Creature Commandos has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. What are you talking about?
What is that? Critic reviews?
No, that's audience. 95%, 79% on critic reviews. No, I'm sorry. 95% critic, 79% audience.
Oh, that's not a good score.
It has popcorn, so that's good. That's an 80%. That's like that is a digestible program.
That's not good.
You know,
that's not good.
Yes, it is. It does have the popcorn bucket spilled over.
How many reviews? Dude? I can tell you an audience score of below 80 is not a good audience score.
But it's not bad by any means. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
That's not good.
And not to mention the full season isn't even out yet. It's like we'd have to wait for it to be. Show me how many reviews there are. There are critics. It is 35 fresh, 2 rotten. Audience.
Oh, that's not a lot of reviews. That's not a lot of reviews.
Can we? This is too much dead air. I can't even.
Look, you just tapping away.
Yeah, no, well,
I wish you were better at Google.
It's not working here. Let's go to IMDb.
It's fine.
But no, it's just I'm okay with the decision, I guess, if that makes sense. Like it's just I completely understand
it. It's fine being okay. It's fine being okay. It's asinine to say when someone fires someone else that it's not that guy's fault.
But I don't think it's that he fired. It's that
he fired him.
Wanted like if
he fired him.
Kevin Feige went in there,
you have somebody, you want someone else, you fired him. That's exactly what he did.
No, but James. Okay, that's what I'm saying is that he wasn't under. that doesn't even make sense.
I don't know what weird thing you're doing. Why you're defending James Gunn and the fact that he fired Henry Cavill?
No, but I don't know. An inherently wrong thing to say.
But no,
if James Gunn goes in with a brand new vision for a brand new cinematic
he had
universe.
A Superman. He fired him so he could get a new one. That's exactly what happened.
No, but
that's what happened.
When you're an artist, you don't come in with the baggage of the studio. Like that's
not
asinine.
true. It happens all the time.
That's like
happens all the time.
If Christopher Nolan got hired to do a job, and the studio was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, you have to put Robert Downey in this movie, Christopher Nolan."
Happens all the time.
Christopher Nolan goes, "Well, I don't."
Happens all the time. Happens all the time. I imagine early in Christopher Nolan's career that
so you're
really
telling me
happened.
that
happens
Denis
all the time.
Villeneuve made Dune, and the studio that made it was like, "Hey, by the way, you have to put Dave Bautista in this movie, or you're fired." And like that's ridiculous. Like if he doesn't want to put
why is
Dave
it ridiculous?
Bautista, because it's not his vision. That is entirely his choice.
Oh my gosh!
The director
casts.
The director casts, not the studio.
Stop.
The director makes that decision. Like, what are you talking about? Like, if Zack Snyder was like, I don't want Henry Cavill.
Do you understand anything about filmmaking? Studios all the time. Marvel Studio is the perfect example of squashing people's vision and making them do things that they don't want to do.
Yeah, that's a horrible model, though. So, are you saying you support that? You're saying you support that for Henry Cavill?
Do I support that? Really? Was it such a terrible model all the way through Endgame? The most successful movie franchise in the world was unsuccessful with their formula? Is that what point you're trying to make?
No, not at all.
Well, okay, because that's what you just told me, which is the most asinine thing I've ever heard. But that's the thing is, Marvel Studio had a specific formula and made their creators form. What were you doing, Gator?
Gunn decided not to bring back Henry Cavill and Man of Steel. Yeah. No, I understand that.
See, there we go.
Yes, but no one went into Marvel with like, hey guys, I want to set up a brand new. No one said, hey guys, I want to set up a brand new Marvel Cinematic Universe. They weren't hiring people for that. They were hiring people to follow their vision. They hired James Gunn to set up a brand new DC universe.
But he's not.
And so
he's
morally
not.
binding.
But see, that's wrong right there. Your sentiment's wrong because that's not what James Gunn did. James Gunn is taking his characters he created from the old version, bringing them over to the new version without changing a thing, and he is making a soft reboot. So he could have brought over anybody he wanted from the past universe because he even himself said it is a soft reboot and that people from the old universe are going to come over to the new universe. So that is objectively false what you have just said there.
But it's not completely inaccurate.
No. And by the way, Villanova and every single director in the world, if you don't think that studios were in George Lucas's ear, Steven Spielberg's ear, freaking Christopher Nolan's ear, you are out of your mind and you have no idea how the movie business works.
Right, but I just
producers, studios, executives, all of these people have all the influence in the world, yes. And is it a back and forth between a director's vision and what the studio wants? Every single movie. And I guarantee you there were hard points that the studio have that, hey, we'll let you do this, but you can't do X, Y, or Z. So to say that the director's vision is always followed is implicitly false, because how many movies have been wrecked due to the studios and directors clash between vision of what the director wants and what the studio wants. It happens all the time. I would say it's actually rarefied air. I would say it's rarefied air that a director actually gets to obtain his vision in a big budget blockbuster movie. Maybe you can get it in independent movies. Maybe you can get it into low budget, horror films. But in big money blockbuster films where they're paying $300 million, $400, $500 million on a movie, I guarantee you that the studio is going to have a big say on what the director's stupid vision is. It's just going to happen. And to say that it doesn't entirely work when Marvel proved the point of studios interrupting. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it didn't work.
But no. You said that a director's vision, and it was his vision. And I'm telling you that Marvel came in there, squashed a lot of people's visions, especially even big name directors.
Joss Whedon.
They
destroyed that guy.
Sam Raimi. And I imagine they fought the Russo brothers on a bunch of stuff, too.
No, I'm just saying. Understand. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that I don't think that because studios fuck over directors, that doesn't keep James Gunn morally bound to keep Henry Cavill as a Superman.
I'm not saying it's morally bound.
Ethically.
But this is the thing is, you're putting it on the studio's head that Henry Cavill got toasted. I'm saying it is on James Gunn, who is the head of the studio. He decided with his vision, he didn't want Henry Cavill, and thus fired him, and that's exactly what happened.
See, I just don't think that's fair because
James Gunn fired a guy that was still in contract with DCU to play a character. So how else would you explain it? So Peyton, at your job, they come in and say, we have a new vision. You are fired.
Listen, no, I think what happened is that Warner Bros. Said, hey, we're bringing in someone whose vision doesn't involve you, so now you're out of the job. Like they hired him. No, he didn't. They were signing
no, that's
up
not
for.
at all.
Warner Bros.
He even
hired James Gunn.
Henry Cavill, James Gunn, both said they sat down, had a meeting. It was not the studio that told Henry Cavill he wasn't going to be Superman anymore. It was James Gunn and Peter Safran.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure he probably did. I mean,
because he wasn't part of their vision, and that maybe he would have another role in the DCEU, but not Superman.
No, and I'm
just saying. So if James Gunn, my original point, James Gunn better have a good effing reason to take the best Superman that there's ever been, and who was on contract with them. There better be a darn good reason he chose a guy who wasn't that much younger than Henry Cavill.
We'll see. I mean, and we'll see. And the thing is, if it sucks, I'll be the first one to say it. All right, because I have high expectations of this movie. Like,
see, that's the difference. I don't.
They better do it. Like that's the
James Gunn also said The Flash was the greatest movie he had ever seen.
Oh, I don't think he believed that.
Then why would he say it? Why would he say it? I know, but it just lowers it. He didn't need to say it. He didn't need to say a thing. He didn't need to say a thing. It just lowered his own. It lowered his own credibility to do that.
I just see that's the thing is I just don't think so. Like the flip coin, the disadvantage for James Gunn now. So for you, his disadvantage is winning you over. For me, his ultimate disadvantage for fans like myself is that he has to live up to it, or he's done. Like that's the flip side. That's the bad part for him. Is I feel like he's in a tough situation regardless. He has to obtain a lot of people. He needs to get a lot of people back, especially after the Zack Snyder fiasco. Now, and then with people that want a good DC, people he's given hope to, people that he's told, I have a vision. I want storytelling first. The people that have believed him in that, you better live up to it. Or he's royally messed up. And I'm hoping that we don't have this whole thing where it's like, oh, James Gunn's Superman is so, you guys just don't see it. You're just not seeing the. I hear that. I'm gonna lose my mind because we've heard that with plenty of superhero quality.
Yeah, because I didn't love because he's gonna get a new Batman too.
Well, they're gonna have their cake and eat it too. They're gonna have Robert Pattinson Batman and new Batman.
I really wish they wouldn't keep going with Robert Pattinson Batman.
See, I like Rob Pat. I like Rob Pat Batman. I agree with you that the last third of the movie's weak, but I really liked Goth Batman. Goth Batman, I can speak for my generation.
Emo, you love emo.
We resonated with Batman. We claim Robert Pattinson Batman. We'll take him off your hands if you don't want him.
I'd rather not. Give me Batfleck again. Batfleck was.
I liked Batfleck. I thought his whole just kind of kill people was great.
Yeah, he was just tearing through dudes.
Yeah, no, it was refreshing. It was very refreshing, especially after Nolan's Batman, which was like, as much as I love superheroes, I haven't really had that much exposure to different Batman. And sort of just after the Christopher Nolan Batman and like the whole no killing, that was just a breath of fresh air. Was
where is it? Where's the trigger? You would never give it to an ordinary citizen. Where is it? Where is it?
I'm there.
That wasn't great, but I love it.
Well, it's very college humor inspired.
Yeah. Where is it? Where's the trigger? You would never give it to an ordinary citizen.
That's good stuff.
Right. I gotta take a shit. I gotta get out of here.
That's fun. I gotta go pee. This is great. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
All right, let's get out of here.
Let's go back to the bear cave.